Hey, what's up guys? And today I'm here in Providence, Rhode Island, and today's video is going to be a special install video for the Mirage Drive V2 drive chain into the Hobie Mirage Drive V2. And recently I was out in my 2011 blue Hobie Outback SUV Mirage Drive kayak, and I was fishing on the narrow river in Rhode Island trying to catch some winter flounder. And sadly I didn't catch any winter flounder, but I really wasn't that disappointed because that was my first time ever in my entire life trying to catch winter flounder, so you know, it was a good learning experience. But anyways, after I was done fishing for the day, I was working my way back up tide and up current, upwind to go back to my launch site, and I was pedaling really hard up current, and the Hobie Mirage drive chain in the front of the Mirage Drive here snapped. And I'm not really too surprised that the drive chain snapped because this is actually the second time that the Mirage drive chain has snapped. I snapped the one on the back side here of the Mirage Drive back in November when I was off Narragansett to tog fishing, and the one in the front here snapped, and after looking at the cable, it was really corroded and rusted. And I think the reason for that is because after fishing, you know, day in and day out since when I got this back in 2011, and you really don't need to maintain it that much. But this past summer, I was out in Montauk, New York all summer long, fishing 6 to 7 days a week, exposing the Mirage Drive and my kayak to the harsh saltwater environment, and that really just puts a beating on the cables, the cable wires here of the Mirage drive chain. Anyways, after snapping one of my drive chains, I basically went online to RamseyOutdoorStore.com, and because they are a new Hobie dealer, which I've been waiting for a really long time, they've always been a kayak dealer, but they've never carried Hobie kayaks, and they're one of my favorite retail stores to shop at back in New Jersey. But anyways, I went online and looked at their kayak Hobie section and found the component that I need here, which is the chain Assy or Mirage Drive V2 drive chain, and it's $40.99, which isn't a bad price. That's usually your standard price for the drive chain if you look on any other website online. And you know, this is the only piece that I need, and today I'm basically going to pop off the old one, pop this one in, and show you how simple it is. Basically, the only tool you really need is a pair of needle nose pliers. Alright guys, so the first thing that I always like to do when I am replacing the Hobie Mirage drive chain is I want to remove the fin here below the section where the drive chain is. See, if you take a closer look here on the back, this is the drive chain that's still intact and isn't broken, and right here on the front is the Mirage drive chain that is snapped, and it goes right here through these spokes right above this fin here. So just to make it easier on myself, I want to remove this fin here so I can access these spokes a little bit easier. So after removing the split ring, like you just saw, there's a little metal bar here that you just pull right out, just like that. Very simple. Put it in a safe spot so it doesn't roll away, and then you just pull off the fin just like that, nice and easy. And now the fin is basically out of the way, so you can access the spokes here where the chain is going to go. So after removing the fin on the bottom side of the drive chain location, you basically obviously want to remove the old drive chain that's snapped. And this is where your needle nose pliers are really going to come into play. And you have two nuts. You have one nut on this side that you have to remove to get this section off, and then there's another nut on this side, 7/16, that you have to remove on this side of the Mirage Drive to remove the old broken drive chain. Fairly easily, you can just grab this nut here and slowly start loosening it to remove this broken drive chain. There's one nut right there. Let's remove the other side of the drive chain. There's the second one removed, and now we're ready to install the new drive chain. Alright guys, so I removed the old drive chain like you just saw, and it's pretty much ready already for the new replacement drive chain for the V2 Mirage Drive. And I'm going to show you in a second how I install that. And a good thing to look at when you're doing this yourself is basically just look at the other Mirage drive chain, and you'll see how it is positioned on the Mirage drive, and that'll assist you with installing the new drive chain. So let's get to the install. So this is basically the Hobie Mirage drive chain from Ramsey Outdoor Store. And like I said, again, I'm so excited that they became a Hobie dealer, so that basically I can get pretty much everything I want in one store. And you know, this is basically what the drive chain looks like. You know, it's the same thing basically as the old one, and obviously the old one is snapped and corroded, and this one is brand new, looking good, and should be ready to be put on the Mirage drive and get me back out on the water. Now, before installing the new drive chain, I want to show you something. When you break a drive chain in the front of the Mirage drive, it starts to pivot like this and move. See that? And when you're installing the new drive chain, you can't have this move because there's another cable here that has to be in line with this spinny wheel in order for that drive chain to be properly installed. So what I like to do to keep that drive chain from pivoting back and forth is I will take some tape or I will take some rope, and I basically will tie from here to around the pedals, locking this in place. That should be good. See that? Now it doesn't pivot and everything is properly aligned, so I can properly install this new drive chain. Going from underneath, you basically just line up all the spokes with the holes in the chain links, and it has to be even on either side. And usually how I know when it's even is there's 3 holes in the beginning of each section of the chain, and the first spoke on either side of the circular spoke key here, you want that first spoke to be in that 3rd link on both sides of the chain. Now basically, once you have this chain through the spokes and it's properly aligned, you need to bend this cable here. Underneath this little black coating is a black cable, and you need to bend it to fit it through a hole right through here, where then you're going to attach the nut. And I like to use my needle nose pliers to bend this really stiff cable. Cable is not easy to bend unless you have something stiff to bend it with. This part is probably the most tricky part of the install, is bending the cable. Alright, so I got the one cable through the section that it needs to be, and I'm just going to attach the nut really quick so I can hold it through the hole there. And you know, again, you use your needle nose pliers. This is pretty much the only tool that you're going to need. And I use the needle nose pliers to tighten it so this cable doesn't come out of the threaded hole. Okay, that one's in there. I'm probably going to have to tighten it after I get the other side in. Like I said before, this is probably one of the trickiest parts of installing the Mirage drive chain, and you really need a stiff metal object of some sort to get a good grip on this cable in order to put it through the hole and bolt it to the Mirage drive. I got that bolt on there, or that nut, and I'm going to snug it up on this side, and then as well snug it up on the other side until it's evenly tightened. You don't want it too tight on one side more than the other. All right, it's on there pretty snug. It should be good. Now I'm just going to remove this tape here. And here you go, guys. The Mirage Drive is back in working order. All I have to do now is basically pop back on the fin, which can be done simple enough. You just basically thread it back onto this metal bar. You take this little metal peg and you stick it through the holes that align here at the end of the Mirage Drive, and that makes sure that the fin is in the right position. All right, Fishaholics, so basically the last thing to do here now is basically just attach the split ring that I've got here back to the little metal peg so that this fin is locked in place. And I have a special tool here that I like to use that I actually made myself, but they also sell them, you know, in retail stores, and they're basically just split ring pliers. And these ones I made by myself by going to, you know, a local hardware store and buying a cheap pair of small little pliers here. And I took a torch and I heated up the end of the pliers and then basically hammered and bent the one front side of the needle nose pliers here. And that basically creates like a hook where I can put that hook through the split ring, opening it up a little bit, and then I can easily basically just come down to this little metal peg and thread on this split ring. There we go. Split ring is on and it's good to go. All right, Fishaholics, so there you have it on how to replace your Hobie Mirage drive chain for your Hobie Mirage Drive V2. And I strongly recommend to pick up a pair of, or at least one, Mirage drive chain to always have on your person, whether you're off the water or on the water. Basically, so if you ever look at that drive chain and you notice there's a lot of corrosion or rust on it, that you maybe should think about replacing it so you don't get stranded out on the water, but also just to have one on your person when you're on the water for just that one scenario when you're way offshore fishing for stripers, or you're way offshore and your drive chain breaks and you need to replace it. And I strongly recommend to have the tools such as a pair of needle nose pliers, a pair of needle nose split ring pliers, and some duct tape or thread, or even fishing line in worst case scenarios. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this special install video, and I hope you guys learned a few things on how to change and replace your Hobie Mirage drive chain for your Hobie Mirage Drive V2. And I would like to just say thanks again to Hobie and Ramsey Outdoor Store for supplying me with my Hobie Mirage drive chain to get me back out on the water and hopefully catch some more fish. Anyways, I'd like to also say thanks again, guys, to my subscribers, because I recently just passed 4,000 subscribers, which I'm really excited about, and it's just getting me more pumped to make more videos that will entertain you guys and hopefully help you guys catch more fish. If you have any more questions, just post a comment in the comment section below, or look in the description below to find any more information about how I rig my kayak, how I replace this drive chain, and as well as how to maintain and upkeep the drive chains so that they won't break when you're out on the water and they'll be in the best conditions for the longest time to come. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys out on the water, and never forget, live to fish, fish to live.